You're at the airport, shoeless, belt half off like a medieval knight surrendering, clutching your laptop like it's a life raft only to shuffle through a security line that moves slower than a snail on vacation. Now imagine this. You waltz onto a private jet, greeted like royalty, your favorite drink in hand, and not a single screaming toddler in sight. No baggage fees, no middle seats, and absolutely no one kicking the back of your chair for 6 hours straight. Welcome to the world of fractional jet ownership, where you get all the perks of private aviation without having to sell a kidney to buy the whole plane. But is this high-flying lifestyle really worth the investment? Buckle up, and let's take off into the details. What is fractional jet ownership? Imagine having the luxury of a private jet at your disposal without the headache of full ownership. That's the magic of fractional jet ownership. It's like having a VIP pass to the skies, without shelling out tens of millions for a personal aircraft. Think of it as the aviation version of a timeshare, but instead of arguing over holiday weeks at a Florida beach house, you're locking in guaranteed flight hours on a sleek, high-flying beauty, rather than buying an entire jet. Because let's be real, unless your last name is Bezos or Musk, that's a stretch. You purchase a fraction, maybe 1/8, 1/16, or even less. This slice of airborne luxury grants you a set number of flight hours each year, typically ranging from 50 to 400, depending on how often you want to escape the chaos of commercial terminals. Gone are the days of TSA lines, layovers, and battling for overhead bin space. You're now cruising at 40,000 feet in absolute comfort. The best part? You don't have to worry about the not-so-glamorous side of jet ownership. No maintenance schedules, no pilot hiring, and definitely no late-night Googling of how to de-ice a private jet. A dedicated management company takes care of everything from flight planning and crew staffing to cleaning and fueling, so your only job is to show up, step aboard, and sip your champagne like a seasoned jet setter. And don't stress if your specific jet is busy, an identical one will be ready and waiting. That means no airport sprints, no overbooked flights, and no economy class nightmares featuring crying babies and zero legroom. You get all the perks of private aviation speed, convenience, and top-tier luxury without the staggering costs of outright ownership. So whether you're jetting off for a last-minute business deal, a weekend in the Maldives, or simply avoiding the horrors of commercial air travel, fractional jet ownership lets you fly like a billionaire without spending like one. Now, isn't that a first-class way to take to the skies? The perks. Why consider fractional ownership? Imagine getting all the luxury of private jet travel without the financial turbulence of full ownership. That's the magic of fractional ownership. First, let's talk cost efficiency. Instead of shelling out millions for a jet that sits idle most of the time, you share the purchase and operational expenses with other owners. Think of it like splitting the bill at a fancy restaurant, except instead of debating who ordered the extra side of truffle fries, you're sharing costs for fuel, insurance, pilot salaries, and maintenance. Then there's the guaranteed availability factor. Need to be in Miami for a last-minute meeting or Paris for an impromptu getaway? No problem. With as little as 4 to 48 hours notice, your aircraft, or an identical one, is ready, sparing you from the unpredictability of charter services and the horror of commercial flight delays. And let's not forget fleet flexibility. Depending on your provider, you can choose the perfect aircraft for each trip, whether it's a light jet for a quick jaunt to a business meeting or a long-range beauty for an intercontinental escape. Best of all, professional management means you never have to worry about hiring pilots, scheduling maintenance, or figuring out where to park your jet. Instead, you simply show up, board, and fly, no hassle, no headaches, just pure, uninterrupted luxury in the sky. The turbulence. Potential drawbacks. As glamorous as fractional jet ownership sounds, it's not all champagne toasts and jet-set living. There are a few bumps in the flight path. High initial costs can be a tough pill to swallow. Even at a fraction, you're still looking at a hefty investment, a 1/16th share of a light jet. That could set you back over $300,000 up front, plus monthly management fees of around $9,000 and an hourly rate of about $1,500 every time you fly. So yes, you're flying private, but your wallet might need some oxygen. Then there's depreciation. Just like a luxury car, jets lose value over time, meaning when you eventually sell your share, you might not get back what you hoped. It's the airborne version of buying a brand new sports car and watching its value drop the moment you drive it off the lot. Limited flexibility can also be an issue. If your travel needs shift, maybe you suddenly need a jet with a larger cabin or longer range. You could find yourself stuck with an aircraft that no longer fits your lifestyle unless you're willing to shell out more for an upgrade. And let's not forget shared access. You're not the only one with a stake in this flying marvel. During peak travel times, scheduling conflicts can arise, meaning your jet might be off gallivanting with another owner when you need it most. So while fractional ownership offers the allure of private aviation, it's not completely turbulence-free. The 2025 aviation landscape, a snapshot. The private jet industry in 2025 is soaring to new heights, but not without some thrilling turbulence along the way. The demand for luxury air travel is stronger than ever, with high net worth individuals and business elites ditching the stress of commercial flights for the effortless elegance of private aviation. Why squeeze into a cramped economy seat when you can sip champagne at 40,000 feet in your own flying palace? One of the biggest signs of this surging demand: record-breaking orders. Embraer, a leading private jet manufacturer, just secured a jaw-dropping $7 billion deal from FlexJet, one of the most powerful players in fractional ownership. That's not just a major sale, it's a bold declaration that private jets are the future. But wait, the skies aren't completely clear. While sales are skyrocketing, flight activity is sending mixed signals. Data from WingX shows that private jet flights rose 1% in the first week of 2025, but they're down 4% compared to last year. What gives? Experts believe the market is stabilizing after the post-pandemic boom, adjusting to a world where travel patterns keep shifting. One thing is certain: private aviation isn't losing altitude anytime soon. If anything, it's becoming an even more elite, competitive, and exclusive space. Whether it's CEOs flying to billion-dollar meetings or celebrities escaping paparazzi, the skies of 2025 are reserved for those who refuse to wait in line. Is fractional ownership right for you? So, should you take the plunge into fractional jet ownership, or are you better off sticking to first-class tickets and hoping for an upgrade? It all comes down to how, where, and how often you fly. Flight frequency is a major factor if you're racking up between 50 to 200 hours in the sky each year. Fractional ownership could be a sweet spot, offering more convenience than on-demand charters and better value than jet cards. But let's talk finances. This isn't a buy now, think later kind of deal. You'll need to assess whether you're ready for the upfront investment, ongoing management fees, and the reality that jets, like cars, lose value over time. If the idea of depreciation gives you heartburn, you might want to explore other private aviation options. Then there's your travel style. Do you frequently fly to the same cities for business? Or is your itinerary as unpredictable as a last-minute weekend in the Maldives? Consider your destinations, passenger needs, and scheduling flexibility to see if fractional ownership fits your lifestyle. In the end, if you love the idea of walking straight onto a private jet without the headache of full ownership, but can handle the costs and limitations, fractional ownership might just be your ticket to flying like the elite. If you've ever dreamed of flying like a billionaire without, actually being one, fractional jet ownership might just be your golden ticket. So, what do you think? Worth the splurge or better to stick with business class? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more high-flying insights, because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.